black people. Africa, the country of rhythm. Africa, the country of percussion. Africa, the country of where you have different types of dances, full of vibrations. Africa, a very, very beautiful land where you have black, beautiful people with shining colors. Brown, black, yellow. And what do you think of? Black mind, black power. Africa is a place I love. There's a place you have to observe in Africa. Those are the homes, the villages, where you have the spirits, the idol worshippers, the Shangus, and so on. Africa, a very, very good country. Now, I'm gonna take you on a little trip. And this little trip is about the rhythm. You see, when we talk about African rhythm, we are talking about the power, the vibration, and the forces. African music is music that moves you and me because it's full of rhythm. I want to take you to a little tree. Ah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. After this laurel tree that you have all gone through, now let me give you the little message behind African music. You will see the bass drum hitting at your heart when you are moving or whatever you're doing. You will hear the snare and the tom-tom, which means a sign of protest to what you are doing. You will hear the zinc and the sigh and the complicated drums, and that gives you your free mind. You're being black. Your protests to what you are aiming at as an African man. Listen to the vibration of the drums. Listen. Take it right down into your heart. It's a message to you and me. But there's one thing I want to tell you. Don't never don't never be very hypocrite to somebody. Don't betray your next brother. Don't tell your brother you are black and you turn back and betray your brother. Be black-minded. Be black. When you tell your brother you love your brother and do what you can do to help your brother. Some people, they will look you, they will say, hey brother, I love you brother, we're together. They will give you a handshake, and then, hey brother, but man, they are so dangerous. Get the message. That's the message.
Welcome to Birchfield Jazz Festival, tribute to a friend and colleague, the late Tony Allen. Known as a collaborator across many genres of music, as a drummer and a pioneer of Afrobeat music, and what he saw as his own African version of jazz.
Your brother, check it out in your mind. Being black, check it out. Reality is being black. The next brother will tell you, I'm together, I am black, we are together. He will shoot back at you. Watch out.
Welcome everybody to our tribute to one and only Alenko Babanike Tony Allen. This is our friendly tribute to somebody who taught us a lot, who taught us many things about life, about there's no end to whatever we do. Please enjoy it. We're going to go through the series of his work, what he has shared with many people, and enjoy it.
Of percussion, you can feel the percussion. Rhythm, Africa, rhythm.
Tony's 1978 recording of African Message, featuring Fela Kuti on saxophone and working with Fela's band Africa 70.
Ofigi urugurugu jagari gi won gon urugu jagari gi ojiguro ko he papa ofigi urugu jigaraga mu ko raga wo ifi urugu jigi mu wa aji obo enji ge urugu raga We don't come again, oh. Heavy message. Now so I dey see am every day, and now so it dey happen every time. Civilization, now here we want. Discrimination, now here we don't want. Civilization, now here we want. Discrimination, now here we don't want. Sing with me. Civilization, now here we want. Discrimination, now here we don't want. Civilization, now here we want. Discrimination, now here we don't want. That's what I mean. Hey, another heavy message. Make we buy our home for dear. Make we buy them home for here. Make them buy our home for here. Make we buy them home for dear. Make we do our own for dear. Make them do our home for here. Make them do our home for here. Make we do them home for dear. They discriminate. We say we be black. Black and white are the same. Make we not forget say we say. Importation, exportation. We want, we want, we want, we want. Make we wake our home for here. Make we make them home for here. Make them make our home for here. Make them make our home for here. I say. Yeah, black or white, we are all from the same universe, and the God created us to live together. We have plenty of things to do together, so why can't we come together? No discrimination, togetherness. What? Right on.
No Discrimination, 1980s recording, Africa 70 by the late Tony Allen. So I'm talking here to Lekon Babalola, percussionist, twice Grammy Award winner, which he doesn't like me to say too often, but I'm going to say that tonight, and a long, long time friend of the late Tony Allen. So you've had a long affiliation with Tony. And how did it start?
I met late Tony Allen in 1976 at the Old African Shrine in Idioro one Sunday afternoon because I've heard about, the music, and I went to the African Shrine Sunday Jump with a great friend of mine who lives now in Chicago, Kunle Shofowora. And also I met, I already knew about Leke Benson, guitarist who lived in Agege, near my father's church. The Benson's family, they produce orange juice in Agege that time. They're the first family. They're from Abeokuta, the Bensons. They produce orange juice and dairy milk and stuff like that. And Leke Benson featured on few albums with Fela as one of the, I think, lead guitarist. Yeah, Leke Benson. So that's how I really got to know Uncle Tony Alenko. And I will now go to the shrine. We sat next to his stage, the stage on the when you enter Old African Shrine. So he will be on the left hand side if you are looking at the stage. So I will go and sit with him and just be watching him playing drums. Yes.
And how old were you at that time? And also, were you very interested in music? Were you particularly drawn to hearing him play because you were passionate about music at that time as a percussionist?
Well, the groove that Uncle Tony was playing, he was playing the mixture of Aladura groove, which is the white garment church that my father was running in Agege. My father got involved in this Aladura church, CNS, Cherubim and Seraphim, they call it. So, and also my father we played a lot of Sakara music, Akbala. So Uncle Tony managed to just put the whole thing in one uh, kid drum, they call it, you know. And then you hear a lot of that Aladura music in that music, in the groove. So that's what drew me to that music, really. That how did this man manage to put four people? Because it's four people that will be playing the drum they call samba, which you put between your knee. The bass samba, the middle samba, the tenor samba, and the high tone samba, the one that is improvising. It's two samba that will be improvising, whereby two sambas will be keeping the time and playing the same pattern, repetitive. But I don't know how he managed to put everything in one groove. Yeah.
So he is known for that, isn't he? There's a lot of discussion about how does he manage to sound like six people playing the drums or 100 people playing the drums. And he said himself, it depends on the mood that he's in. So that element of the music is so important, isn't it? The vibe of the music. And we're going to move on to another track that I'd like you to introduce, which is connected to a place that we in this country consider to have a special vibe, which is Glastonbury Festival, and Fela's first experience of playing at the festival.
Well, this track called "When One Road Close" was recorded at Addis Ababa studio. We were at Glastonbury in 1984. I was the guest of Fela and Uncle Tony. I think Uncle Tony, I know Uncle Tony told me he was hired by Francis Kentekin, who was managing Fela at that time, to come to Glastonbury. So me, myself, and Uncle Tony, we sat on the bus all the way from Maidaville. Early in the morning, the bus has to take us all the way to West Country. My first time in Glastonbury, thanks to Fela, Uncle Fela. And we drove all the way in the coach, two coaches, I remember, all the way to Glastonbury, my first time in Glastonbury. That was 1984. And Uncle Tony eventually didn't play. I did this kind of a commotion. Tony didn't play in Glastonbury Festival. Then he stayed around in London in 1984, 85. So I will be taking him around to meet people, meet his friend, and his brother, Dr. Kumi Allen. He was living in Old Kent Road, around that area. And also Egbon Gani. Egbon Gani was living in Lancaster Road, W10. Egbon Gani was a double bass player who was playing with Adeolu Akinsanya in the 60s. Egbongani, was playing with Adeolu, double bass player, upright bass player. And him and Uncle Tony were, contemporary, that playing with Adeolu Akinsanya and also so many people. So I will be taking Uncle Tony to Uncle Gani in Lancaster Road. And nearby Lancaster Road, in Harrow Road, you have Addis Ababa studio. Addis Ababa, Tony Addis was in, that studio was in Harrow Road. And this is where this next track was recorded. Now, Uncle Tony has left Fela. Now he's in London, looking for his own future. So this is a track called When One Road Close, Another One We Open.
do before. Yeah.
What thing you get for this world, woman never get. What thing you do for this world,
Oh, woman never do before. Oh,
if you do good, you do for yourself. If you do bad, you do for yourself. If you do good, you do for yourself. If you do bad, you do for yourself.
oh.
Na him be say, na him be say, na him be say, na him be say, na him be say.
One road to close, another one go open. One road to close, another one go open. Hey.
Dúró de àsìkò, àsìkò. 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 O lè gbójúlé wọn wé kí wọ́n máa fìyà jẹ. O lè gbójúlé wọn òwe. O lè gbójúlé wọn òwe kí wọ́n máa fìyà jẹ. O lè gbójúlé wọn òwe. Ọmọ aráyé lè wọ́n máa lé. Òjé ni wọ́n ń yọ òwe. Ọmọ aráyé lè wọ́n máa ṣe gbá ṣàwo 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 fún ẹ òwe. nígbà tí àsìkò bá wá tó òwe. wá wá rí wípé sẹ́ òjé ni wọ́n ń yọ òwe òjé ni wọ́n ń yọ. nígbà tí àsìkò bá wá tó òwe. wá wá rí wípé sẹ́ òjé ni wọ́n ń yọ òwe òjé ni wọ́n ń yọ. ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé kí wọ́n máa fi yà jẹ. ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé. ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé kí wọ́n máa fi yà jẹ. ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé. One more time, one more time, one more time, one more time. Ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé kí wọ́n máa fìyà jẹ. Ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé. Ó lè gbójúlé wọn wé.
Mexico, meaning wait for your time. Recorded in Paris in 1999. And Tony Allen been living in Paris for quite a number of years by this time, and collaborating with a lot of French musicians. And he's really speaking out in Yoruba in this track about his experiences. How do you feel that his move to Paris would have affected his music and him personally?
Well, when he was here in 1984, he said to me, "It's difficult here because he just couldn't express what he wanted to express. I don't know." And I begin to understand it later, because the English culture did not encourage that freedom of expression in another language. So it's like you have to fit in to be able to speak that thing. But when he went to France, already in France, there's that culture moving on in the French Francophone African culture of the negritude, like how you have the civil rights in America. The French African has already understand that thing long time ago, of the colonial whole thing, and they've been fighting for it for a long time. So when he got to Paris, it was easy for him to fit in, expressing, because don't forget, people like Manu Dibango, Francis Bebe, a lot of people, Josephine Baker, and a lot of jazz musicians, Miles Davis, a lot of jazz musicians have already gone to France. Fela and Afrobeat is very, very accepted in France, the French. They are the one, actually, I would say, to endorse jazz and Afrobeat. The French have already understand that music, that, oh, wow, this is the music of the future, of the dance of the future. So Tony Allen find a home in France. And in France now, it's easy to meet African-American jazz musician, spoken word jazz poet, and other collaboration of everything there. So he will now do this album, African Pusherman, Afro Pusherman, Psycho on the Boss, and it's a fantastic album.
Yeah, don't want to 5 year was way back. No what? This one is coming all the way back from Toronto to Ottawa on the road. Check it out, man. Yeah, real talk. Afrobeat. Catching the people, man. Try to catch everybody. Afrobeat, yeah. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Check it out.
Every season featuring Damon Albarn and Ty.
Some of us are melody slide. Some of us are melody slide. Some of us are melody slide.
Riding on guitar strings, hoping on a rainbow, wishing for my ego. Target practice, reaching my free fall, landing over people, every limb is lethal. Super radar, double glazed razor, speak yes I may sir, we reflect data. Every season, part of me is leaving. I don't know the reason. Memories are freezing, chilly like the evening. Tasty if you need them, sweeter than your freedom. If you like my words, then heed them. Fate helps me carry on. Blood runs my marathon. Veins made of parables and paragons. I travel on. I ought to last to quarter past. Free as the ship sails at quarter mast. I'm sorta lost, but first to ask. My starships are searching for my autograph.
All my weapons, let my barricade down, cause I know I don't want it. Oh, never said I wanted to fold you, so you put down your gun. Every season, plus a part of me, so I hope I don't need it. Okay, I don't need myself. It's just a part of my memory.
season featuring Damon Albarn. It's a collaboration with Ty, who also we pay tribute to, who died this year. And Tony has had a long-standing collaboration with Damon over the last sort of 20 years or so. But he also was able to return to his roots with him. And that's been a long project, isn't it? Can you tell us a little bit more about Tony's journey back home, really?
Well, Tony joined back home after working with a lot of collaborators in Europe and America. So we had a discussion because I had the privilege of going back to Nigeria, particularly Yoruba land, because of the organization that is partner with this festival, the Birchfield Jazz Festival, the Ifa Yoruba Contemporary Arts Trust, that I collaborated with a lot of few artists to found in 1995. This year is the 25 years anniversary of the Ifa Yoruba Contemporary Arts Trust, fostering the development of Yoruba arts and culture, as well as moving the advancement of the Yoruba culture and arts in the diaspora. So, of course, I had a discussion with Uncle Tony. So he went back to Nigeria. I introduced the producer of the next track of the album, co-producer, Mr. Kayode Samuel of Ecosta, to Baba Alenko, Tony Allen. So they formed a relationship that they went back to Nigeria to produce this track called Ishenla on the Lagos Shaking album. Featured one of the fantastic, great late. This tribute, of course, is a tribute to Tony Allen. At the same time, it's a tribute to people like Dr. Victor Olaiya, Fatai Rolling Dollars, a lot of the great Yoruba Nigerian musicians who have passed away. So Tony managed to find a way to went back home to collaborate with Fatai Rolling Dollars. So here, a lot of Africans that will come to the Europe, they don't make it back home. So Ishenla is what Fatai Rolling Dollars will be singing on this next track is, wow, come and see the mighty work of God. Ishenla is Ishenla Olorun, the mighty work of God. That him and Tony managed to collaborate together after maybe they met in the 60s and they didn't maybe see each other for maybe another 30 years. And this is Kayode Samuel, a great producer, who put them together. This is Ishenla.
tolúwa bá ti dá panápaná kan ò lè rí pamọ́ iná tolúwa bá ti dá sẹ́ panápaná kan ò lè rí pamọ́ ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
ẹ̀dá ò láròpin o ẹ̀dá ò láròpin ẹ̀dá ò láròpin láyé mi ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá. iṣẹ́ Elédùmarè iṣẹ́ Elédùmarè iṣẹ́ Elédùmarè iṣẹ́ ni tó lè.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ o ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
orí lórí ṣe ẹ̀dá làlá yàn mọ́ o orí lórí ṣe ẹ̀dá làlá yàn mọ́ o ẹ̀dá làlá yàn mọ́ o. iná tolúwa bá ti dá mo tún sọ. Mo ń ké, mo ń wí. Iná tolúwa bá ti dá, panápaná kan ò lè rí pamọ́. Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
Àwa máa rí kí ni iṣẹ́ Olúwa. Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá. Abínú ẹni kan ń ṣe lásán. Abínú ẹni wọ́n kàn ń ṣe lásán. Iṣẹ́ Olúwa kò ṣe rí o. Iṣẹ́ Olúwa kò ṣe rí o. Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o.
ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá.
Ẹ wá wo iṣẹ́ ńlá o. Ẹ wá wo.
The distinctive voice of Baba Fatai Rolling Dollar from Nigeria, finishing off that track, which means great work. Yeah. So we move on. We move to the next track, which I'm a bit of a fan of this track because I know it well because Uncle Tony gave you the catalogue of his music for a theatre piece that you commissioned 20 years ago, I think probably now, called Calacutans, and the story of the people in Calacuta rather than the story of Fela Kuti. It's the story of the people that were living in his compound or his empire, which was the Calacutan Empire. So we use this song for that particular theatre play, and I know it as Too Many Prisoners, but you know it as the Yoruba, which is the
means too many prisoners. I think now, Uncle Tony, from our discussion, sometimes he will say, Europe, meaning this Europe. Of course, he enjoyed the beginning of it, but he was missing home, you know. And then he looked around, left, right, north, south, and everything is like a cage, being in a human cage. Even though nobody put chain on you, the bills, the mental health of constant looking for the bills, survival.
Yeah.
So that put pressure, and I think many times our discussion is always about living in Europe as an African, as a Yoruba person, because the culture is different, you know. And so here is Elewonpo, you know.
Too Many Prisoners, Tony Allen. It's a track on the Secret Agent album, which was recorded by World Circuit Records, produced by Nick Gold. And World Circuit also recorded the next track that we're going to listen to. But before we do hear it, I was very, very lucky last year in 2019 to have the honour of recording a few tracks with Tony, Uncle Tony as we call him. It was an incredible experience, as it often is when you sit in with somebody who has these decades of playing and experience and life, and you absorb something that you never forget. And I was very privileged to have that experience. And I'd like you to talk a little bit now about the next track, because you also had the opportunity of recording with him on this particular album. It was recorded last year, and for Tony, really, it was coming full circle to work with another great African legend, music legend, the trumpeter Hugh Masekela. And when he sent you the original recording, it was himself and Hugh Masekela, and that was it. And I was lucky enough to have a listen to that, and that in itself was just the most incredible music. But you were able to record on it a lot of percussion, and then also other musicians in the UK recorded and overdubbed, because after they recorded it, Hugh Masekela passed away last year. But can you tell us, a little bit about that?
In 2019, me and Uncle Tony, we meet a lot. Every time he comes to London to stay in Harrow Road, a self-contained opportunity that his brother, Uncle Tunji Allen, will bring us food. We were talking to early hour on the morning, and he said he wants to speak to me. He said, but I should come to Glastonbury because the band, the good and the bad and the ugly will be playing. He said he wants to talk to me. So, we went to Glastonbury, myself and yourself went to Glastonbury to be his guest, thanks to Damon, who was he was really kind and received us there. At that point, he said, okay, the following week I should meet him in the flat. So when I went to see him, he now played me this rough idea where it's not even rough, it's like it's finished, of him and Umasikela. Because we had a chat long time ago when he did a tribute. He was returning back to his roots in many ways. He did a tribute to Buana Al-Blakey, late great jazz African American jazz musician Al-Blakey, who I had privilege to be a T-boy for, serving anything Al-Blakey wants to get when it comes to London. I will be there to serve the papa. And so Tony Allen, because many years ago, Tony Allen had Afrobeat messengers, because he was into Art Blakey a lot, and also he was into Max Roach. Max Roach I had. We will talk about it. So he said he wants to play me something that he did with somebody. He didn't tell me the name of the person. So we sat at his flat. He gave me, his regular serve of whiskey, Glenfiddich, Babanike. That's how we refer to him, or Alenko, when he's where. So he played me this track of him and Umasekela. And I think there was a bass player. So he said, what do you think? I said, what is this? This is ready for release. So he said, I don't know what Nick thinks about it. So I said, look, I think you should go back to Nick Gold and you must finish this. So about 4 weeks later, I just got a call from Nick Gold office that I should come to the studio, Livingstone Studio in North London. And I had the privilege of sitting in on the recording that will be another change of phase and change of music in African jazz. And they landed. This track is called We Landed. Surely it's a privilege to sit in with Tony Allen, in the middle of Tony Allen and Hugh Masekela, the young British jazz musician like Steve Williamson, who I've worked with in the past, to record this album and this particular track called We Landed. And I pray, may the soul of Hugh Masekela, Tony Allen, surely landed, in the soul of their creator. And this tribute is for them. Thank you.
Tony Allen, Hugh Masekela. Check it out. Yeah. 17, 18, 19, bobo. Iṣẹ́ lórí ló fi ń ṣeré. Yeah, I see. Bobo.
ṣẹlú.